The new pack, the Newborn Dragon, is here, and we're going to go over some of the cards that are worth crafting or worth pulling for and decks to build around them. So let's go over cards included in this pack. First of all, we have Boral End Dragon. If you're going to be playing some kind of Dragon Link strategy, Boral End Dragon is definitely something to have on your radar. It is very comparable to like a tower that something like Marinces or Adignister might make. That's just very, very hard to deal with. Now, it's not as unoutable as those, but with that being said, it's still a very, very powerful part of the Dragon Link end board that most decks just don't have an answer for. Ghost Trick Festival, okay, if you want to play Ghost Trick. Odd Eyes, okay, if you want to play Odd Eyes. Zombie Vampire, however, is a pretty interesting one, but it will get much better later on when we get Bunk Deer Note. So for now, if you have a level 8 graveyard strategy, this card is worth crafting, but otherwise, it's probably not going to be useful until we get like Deer Note, because that will create very, very good Punk graveyard-based combos. Then we have the Sword Soul Shixing Long one. This card is just a must-have for any Sword Soul deck. So if you're playing Sword Soul, go make this. Then we have Mirror Jade, the Ice Blade Dragon. Pretty important one. All of these so far are one-offs. However, Mirror Jade, the Ice Blade Dragon is probably a 2-off for any branded type of strategy. Now, there are decks that are pure branded Despia, of course, and then you're going to need this card. You're going to play 2-off. But what might also be interesting is that there are decks that just splash a branded engine on top of what they're playing. So when Branded came out, this structure deck in the TCG, we didn't just have, you know, Branded Despia. There was Branded Shaddoll, there was Branded Invoked, there was Branded this, there was Branded Eldritch, there was Branded that. Everyone was splashing some type of branded. So don't just assume like, oh, I don't want to play Despia, so I don't need this card. It's very possible that your deck is still splashing some branded cards, and so even then you might still need at least one. But the branded deck will usually run 2. Then we have Lubellion, the Searing Dragon. This card is a must-have as well for the branded strategy. Some decks ran 1 while others ran 2. So if you want to be like safe, 2 makes sense, but technically it does work with 1. So let's say you don't have that much crafting material or that much gems, then it is probably wise to try and get 2 from the Mirror Jade, 3 from the Branded Fusion, but only 1 from the Lubellion. And then later you can make the second if you notice you need it, because technically the deck is playable with 1. Then Vampire, okay, whatever. We have Mystical Elf White Lightning. It might be cool to have, but I wouldn't go out and crafting this right now. However, Blue Eyes Jet Dragon I really like. Now, I do have to say, if you're playing combo Blue Eyes, where the Blue Eyes engine does nothing more than making your board, you know, just a big combo board without any Blue Eyes pieces, this card might not be as great, but if you're keeping the Blue Eyes section somewhat purish, I think this card is pretty solid as a 2-off. Next, we have Tri-Brigade Mercuryr. So this is essentially a hand trap for the branded Fallen of Albas type of strategy. The only way this is going to be really useful, in my opinion, is if you're also going to be running Branded Lost, which is the card next to it. Then you're probably playing this as a one-off because it is actually searchable. So don't go out and making like 2 or 3 of this little guy, even though it's not a bad card by any means, but you know, don't waste your gems when not required. It is possible that we end up seeing builds with more of this, but from the TCG, we often saw this just as a one-off because it is perfectly searchable with Branded Lost. Speaking of Branded Lost, this is also a one-off or a 0-off. Branded Lost is a very, very powerful card, but it is technically like just a brick, but Branded has a lot of like bricks that then end up being crazy once you do get your combo going. So this card basically makes it like impossible to interact with all the branded fusions going on, and that just makes it really insane and also keeps you plussing. If you want to play like a full branded deck, it's probably cool to have 1 of this, not necessarily more, but there's also people playing 0. So again, if you don't have that much crafting material, I would first focus on the important ones like 2 Mirror Jade, 1 Lubellion, 3 Branded Fusion before you start looking into Mercuryr and Branded Lost. So then Branded Fusion, of course, instant 3-off, absolutely insane card. Yeah, you'll notice this card is just cracked. So this is the starter of the whole deck. This is the thing you're going to be looking for with all of your other cards. And then you activate this, and then you pray people don't ash it, and if people don't ash it, hoo-hoo, you're in business. Then we have Vampire Fascinator, alright, not the biggest deal. Then we have Dark. This card, Dark right here, is a huge game changer. This is basically the one charmer that will almost always be great. This card will just steal Darks from your opponent's graveyard, and Dark is like the strongest attribute in Yu-Gi-Oh! And we noticed the second this came out, this has been in almost every competitive deck. It is very rare that Darks aren't part of the best decks, and being able to just grab those and then link further or use the effects and so forth is absolutely insane. You can also use this to link climb into Selene and then into Access Code if you have other spellcasters in the deck. So overall, just insane card. Definitely make this. It's only an SR, so this is very, very good. This card's insane. Then we have the Draco Nether Soul dragon thing. This is a really good super poly target in a zombie world deck, but in any other deck I wouldn't play this. Then we have our blue eyes Neo thingies. This is okay if you want to play pure blue eyes, go ahead. White Knight, nothing too crazy here. Silver Rocket Dragon, however, interesting for potential dragon strategies. Dictator of D, also a really cool card for the blue eyes strategy. We also see Spring and Skit in here, which some branded Despia decks ran, but others didn't. Usually this was like a one-off because it also had like search potential and so forth. And then beyond that, we have our commons, a Rocket Recharger for Dragon Link, I guess. And then nothing really else that's interesting. So those are basically the cards to be looking out for these decks. I definitely feel like the biggest impact in this pack is going to be the branded stuff. So if you're looking for like, okay, I want the best deck from this pack to be building, it's absolutely going to be a branded Despia type strategy. If you're interested in seeing that, let me know. I will be making a deck profile very soon, so be sure you're subscribed for that. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you soon. Ciao.